everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm here today to share with you my May TBR, and aren't we all grateful for the longer, brighter days of this half of the wheel of the year where you can actually record videos at various times of day and they can be bright enough for people to see. So I'm very grateful for that. Okay, so my May reading. I have been reading some really epic novels this year and quite, long or I've read two particularly long ones and vast in scope. And so for my novels for this month, I wanted to kind of just switch it up a little bit and read things that were maybe a little shorter and had a bit of a different vibe. Like I was really going for changing the vibes of this kind of more literary, historical-based fiction into something potentially a little bit more, just a different era, different time period. So the first one I picked for this month is The Clay Girl, a novel by Heather Tucker. And this is a coming-of-age story around a young woman named Harriet, known as Erin. She goes to live in Cape Breton with her aunt after her father dies tragically, and she lives there with them and then is brought back to Toronto where she originated from, and she kind of has to grapple with the way her father died and her mother's lifestyle. And this all is happening coming of age during the 1960s, which, as a lot of people know, were a time of revolutionary stuff and also drug culture and hippie culture. And so she's coming of age in this time, in this culture, and it's her grappling with that. And I think the seahorse is a symbol that this character connects to. And so I heard Mercedes, I think, talk about this book years ago, so it's been on my library list for a really long time. Looking forward to getting to it. The other novel that I put on my list for this month is called Dreaming in Cuban by Cristina Garcia. And this is a family, bittersweet story of a family experiencing a country's revolution and the revelations that follow. So it is set during the Cuban Revolution. And it was actually, so it's not a new novel. This edition is the 25th anniversary edition. So it was originally published in 1992. I was interested in reading more about Cuba. I have not read a lot about Cuba. And of course, Cuba has been in the news recently because of the blockade that the United States has put upon it. And so I wanted to learn a little bit more about Cuban history through a novel. So that is what this one is going to be. Okay, so I have four nonfiction books to tell you about. I'll start with my audiobook for the month of May, and that is Split Tooth by Tanya Tagaq. So I decided to read this one, or to listen to this one, for a couple reasons. One of them is that I just watched North of North, which is a TV series that was produced here in Canada, and it is set in Nunavut, which is a very northern territory of Canada. And Tanya Tagaq is actually from Nunavut, and she is Inuit, and she is a throat singer. And she actually has a role in the show, so it was nice to see her in that. And then I've always wanted to read her memoir, and so I decided that this would be a good month for that. And it is a vignette-style memoir, and Tanya Tagaq, is a throat singer, an Inuit throat singer, and so she does throat singing in the audiobook and reads it herself. So it is an experience, and I decided I definitely wanted to listen to it rather than to read it, because obviously you're not going to hear throat singing when you're reading the hard copy. Okay, and then we have my Patreon book club book for the month of May, and that is Yoko by David Sheff. It's actually for the months of May, June, and July. This is a biography of Yoko Ono, and it was David Sheff was actually someone that knew her personally and was friends with her. So I think this is the first biography that I'm reading that has been written by someone who was actually friendly with the subject. So he's also a journalist and met Yoko and John shortly before John was killed. And so, yeah, I really love Yoko Ono. I love her art, and I think she is an amazing persona. And so learning more about her is great. Okay, the other memoir that I decided to pick up this month is Eating Dirt, Deep Forests, Big Timber, and Life with the Tree Planting Tribe by Charlotte Gill. So Charlotte Gill was a tree planter, and she spent 20 years working as a tree planter in the forests of Canada. So she talks about what tree planting is like. It's obviously very, you're in like clear cut and you're replanting trees. So it's a very harsh life. My best friend actually did spend a summer tree planting, and she found it very, very physically demanding, very, very challenging. She's talking also about patterns of global deforestation, the evolution of the planet's magnificent forests, and natural history of the cedars, firs, and hemlocks. So she's definitely analyzing the forestry industry in this book as well, and the things that could maybe be improved or changed, or whether or not this is actually sustainable. Spoiler alert, I don't think it is. Really looking forward to that one as well. And then the last one I'm going to share with you is another art book. We're reading a lot about art this year, folks. Unsettling Canadian Art History, edited by Erin Morton. And so going along with my kind of exploration of women in art history and exploring the kind of canon, if you will, of Canadian art history artists, I'm interested in reading some of these essays, which will be about art that is pushing against the idea of the landscape painter being or landscape being the quintessential Canadian art, and talking about different voices. So we have queer, feminist, racialized, Indigenous, and Black perspectives, and analyzing this all through a colonial lens, of trying to deconstruct the colonial impact of on art history in Canada. Okay, so those are my books for May. And I'm looking forward to these, and I'm looking forward to hopefully another great reading month, and I wish you the same thing. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new. I always make TBRs every month. I tell you what I'm reading, and then I wrap up the books that I read. It is a very old school booktube thing, which a lot of people don't do anymore. But I just really enjoy keeping track of my reading and sharing it with you. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video.